Before the story you're about to hear, I'd been living in a comfortable loop for years. I worked as a project coordinator at Evergreen Marketing Solutions, a mid-sized firm in Charlotte, North Carolina. My job was predictable: manage timelines, keep clients happy, make sure campaigns rolled out on schedule. It was safe. And maybe that was the problem. I had friends, sure, but most of my social life consisted of Friday night takeout and streaming documentaries I never finished. Somewhere along the line, I'd stopped chasing anything that scared me or excited me. That's when Sam Rivers and Noah Blake walked into my life. Sam was our new creative lead, brought in from a tech startup in Austin. He had messy hair, a quick wit, and ideas that came faster than anyone could write them down. Noah was a numbers guy, a data analyst who'd just transferred from our Chicago branch. Tall, quiet, observant, with the kind of mind that could spot patterns in chaos. One Monday morning, the three of us got assigned to a client unlike any we'd had before: Blue Horizon, a small eco-friendly travel company trying to break into the national market. Sam leaned back in his chair during our first meeting. We could play it safe, give them a clean brochure, a nice website, or we could do something bold. Something that actually gets attention. Noah adjusted his glasses. Bold means risk. Risk means budget concerns. And the client is already nervous about spending. Sam grinned. That's why we make it worth the risk. They both looked at me. I'd always been the middle ground. The one smoothing over the extremes, making sure creative dreams didn't outrun practical reality. But something about that moment made me want to say yes to something bigger. All right, I said. Let's take the risk. The plan we came up with was ambitious. A cross-country eco-challenge that would showcase Blue Horizon's trips through real experiences. We'd document the journey, create viral content, and invite people to join at different points along the route. The kicker? We wouldn't hire actors. We'd do it ourselves. That meant I, a woman whose idea of adventure was trying a new sushi place, would be hiking, kayaking, and camping across 5 states. When I told my mom, she laughed. You hate sleeping bags. I know, I said. But I need to do this. We started in Asheville, North Carolina, filming in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Sam handled the creative shots, climbing trees to get the perfect angle. Noah managed the logistics, making sure our routes, supplies, and budget stayed on track. I tried not to slow them down. By the end of the first week, I'd already pushed myself more than I thought possible. I'd crossed a suspension bridge over a gorge, waded through a freezing stream, and learned how to set up a tent without swearing under my breath. Some nights we sat around the campfire, talking about everything from childhood dreams to the things we were most afraid of. It was the first time in years I felt truly present. Midway through the trip, in the rolling hills of Kentucky, we hit our first real setback. A sudden storm destroyed some of our camera equipment and soaked most of our supplies. Noah was furious, not at anyone in particular, but at the situation. We can't afford to replace this gear and stay on schedule. Sam, ever the optimist, shrugged. Then we improvise. I surprised them both by stepping in. We've got enough footage to tell a different story, one about overcoming obstacles. Let's show people the reality, not just the picture-perfect moments. It worked. The raw, unfiltered clips we posted that night exploded online. Comments poured in about how refreshing it was to see a travel brand showing the messy, unpredictable side of adventure. By the time we reached Colorado, something had shifted between the three of us. We weren't just co-workers anymore. We'd learned how to lean on each other, Sam pushing us creatively, Noah keeping us grounded, and me finding a voice I hadn't realized I'd lost. One evening in a small mountain town, we got an email from Blue Horizon's CEO. The campaign was already generating more engagement than anything they'd done in 5 years. I stared at the screen, stunned. This crazy risk was actually working. The biggest surprise came at the end of the trip, in a small cafe in Portland, Oregon, where we were editing our final video. The CEO called to say they wanted us, not actors, not hired influencers, to be the faces of their next major campaign. They'd seen how authentic we were together, how people connected to the story because it was real. For me, it wasn't just an offer. It was proof that I could step out of the safe zone and land somewhere better. When I got back to Charlotte, my apartment felt different. Smaller somehow, I'd gone from routine to adventure, from watching life happen to living it. And it wasn't just the campaign that had changed me, it was the people. Sam had taught me that creativity thrives when you stop worrying about perfection. Noah had shown me that planning doesn't have to kill spontaneity. And I'd discovered that I was capable of more than I'd ever given myself credit for. 6 months later, I was splitting my time between the office and on-location shoots for Blue Horizon. I'd learned to pack light, sleep under the stars, and embrace the unknown. The risk I took with 2 guys I barely knew had turned into the best professional and personal leap of my life. The unexpected thing I discovered wasn't a job, or fame, or even adventure itself. It was me, the version of myself that had been buried under years of comfort and caution. And now that I've found her, I'm not going back.